Hello! In this video I will be showing how I make my mugs. For this mug I am using 1.25 pounds of porcelain clay. I did wedge the clay fresh out of the bag since porcelain needs to be softened up after it's been sitting a while. Cut the block of clay into a rounded shape. I use the length of my fingers and slap the clay at an angle to get rid of any creases. Roll the ball of clay on a smooth, clean surface into a point. Sponge some water on your wheel and then take the clay pointed side down and smack it down as close to the center as you can. You want it to be a pretty decent smack, otherwise the clay may not stick as easily. I will be skipping centering instructions for this video, but I do plan on doing a full-length centering video in the future. Something that I do find to be very important before pulling up your walls is to compress the inside floor. There are multiple ways to do this, but a simple way is to use your fingers. I use my right two middle fingers and slide them left and right and up and down. I'm not applying too much pressure since I don't really want the floor to move down anymore, but I am compressing all those stressed out layers of clay. This will help prevent any kind of S-cracking in the future. If you're brave enough, you can also use a small plastic rib like I did here. The next step is to start pulling the walls. On smaller pieces, I will use my fingers, but I tend to find on really tall, thicker pieces, I will use my knuckles to bring up the layers of clay. I will do this multiple times until the wall is at a good consistency and thickness. I won't be doing any carving on this one, so I made the walls a bit thin to prevent too much time trimming later. Once I get the height that I want, I will take a hard plastic rib or wooden rib and compress the walls. The hard rib will help get rid of your throwing lines and straighten your cylinder walls. I plan on making this a bellied mug, so I angle the rib at the bottom of the cylinder and begin the shape of the curve. Using my fingers along the wall on the inside, I follow the rib up and down, massaging out the throw lines on the outside and starting the shape of the mug. To save yourself some time from dry trimming, you can start wet trimming. I take my plastic or wooden knife tool, using the point and blade edge pointed down, and begin to peel off layers of the clay that are too thick and unnecessary. I then take my needle tool and release the small coil of clay I just created around the cylinder and add it to my pile of clay scraps that I can easily re-wedge and use again later. Now I will take the same knife tool or a rib, whichever you prefer, and start shaping your piece. While I am throwing a simple cylinder here, your piece doesn't have to be so clean and simple. Be creative with your tools. To make sure that the belly of the piece is perfectly rounded, I use a flexible metal rib to match the curve and massage the wall from the inside into the curve of the rib, making a smooth bellied curve. Then I will go back to the wall above the curve and shape to satisfaction. During the throwing process, your piece will gather quite a bit of water on the inside. Make sure to soak it all up and clean the inside of your piece and add finishing touch-ups to the rim. I like a rather clean look, so I soften the inside throw lines with a sponge and add an inner cut to the inside rim. This will make the rim a bit thicker and compressed, and it just looks nice when holding a drink. Last minute touch-ups and it's finished! Before wiring the piece off the wheel, I will take my knife tool and create a small notch around the very bottom where the wire tool will easily slide. Be sure not to lift the wire until you are free from the clay. And here are some of the finished mugs I made. Next week I will be showing off how I trim my feet of the mugs and how I make my handles. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you next week!